You guys, Yakko So here, and this is going to be your all glute workout. We're going to hit a little bit of back and hamstrings with it just because that's how it's going to naturally work. But all you need is one heavy dumbbell. If you have two lighter ones, that will work just fine too. Let's get started off with our warm-up. We'll do a few light jumping jacks just to get the heart pumping. Even though we're targeting our glutes and our lower body, we want to warm up the whole body, right? We want to be stiff anywhere. Good, and let's do some butt kicks. Really try to bring those heels to your butt here. Make sure that you're kicking through the heel. You want to really activate that posterior chain. And we'll turn it up a little bit with some high knees. Good. All right, and let's just drop it side to side with a lateral lunge, keeping it stationary. Good, and staying low. We'll shift a couple more times. Good, and let's reach over. Find your hands one part of the ground by one leg. Drop those hips low, open up the hip flexors, and switch sides. Drop those hips low. Switch. And last time, switch. Opening up the glutes a little bit. Really opening up those hip flexors. That way they're not limiting us in our range of motion. And we'll push it back with the down dog here. Drawing that belly in. Good. Rock back forward into a plank and shift again. One more time, plank. Dog. Good. All right. Let's stand up knock out a few squats. So today's workout, very, very simple. We're going to cycle through really just 4 different exercises. We're not doing a lot of different exercises. You don't need to. Let's do some curtsy squats. If curtsies are a little too much right now, just step it back with a reverse lunge. But yeah, so we don't need to get that complicated to target the large muscle groups. We're going to focus on high reps. Again, preferably working with a higher weight. Open up that stance. Let's knock out a few sumo squats to sumo deadlifts. Good. And just keeping that belly in tight as we alternate. Good. Okay. Now getting ready to rock and roll. We'll have 40 seconds of work, 20 seconds of rest, 4 rounds through, okay? All right, we're gonna start off with our good morning. So super sweet and simple. You can hold that dumbbell at your chest or behind your head. Just be safe about it. It shouldn't rest on your neck, it should rest on your traps. But we have some good mornings, so let's begin. So just like if you're familiar, Russian deadlift, where you keep those legs a little longer, right? So not quite as aggressive of a bend in the knees. Focusing on pushing those hips back, belly in tight. Really squeezing through the glutes as you stand up. So the heavier a dumbbell you use too, you're gonna feel your heart rate starts to pick up a little bit more. But again, this is not a cardio workout. This is a strength workout. Good, and rest. Okay, so next we're gonna stay on one side. And if at any point you need to maybe drop the weight and just keep going to finish it out, because it's long intervals, that's fine. But we're gonna step back with a reverse lunge, cross it over, curtsy, and step up. So reverse, curtsy, and stand on one side. Let's begin. We'll shift next. So again, super simple, 4 moves. It'll really be 6 different intervals though, because we have 1 on each side. The moving leg is not the working glute. So the working glute here is going to be on the side that's staying stationary. Whew. And you really want to drive through the heel when you stand here. And come at an angle a little bit, get a better idea.
There was once a day that I would
Good, and rest. Get ready, switch sides. 20 seconds isn't very long, but enough to give your grip a break if needed. But we're switching sides, so we should be okay here. Get ready next. Try not to lean too much, but we're holding on one side. Keep that core tall. 3, 2, 1, let's begin. So reverse, curtsy over. Oops. Reverse, curtsy, and stand. If it's too hard to do the curtsy, okay, you could just do 2 pulses in a reverse lunge. So reverse lunge, down, pulse, and stand if you need to. And rest. All right, shake it out, quick break. We're gonna move on to sumo squats. So you can hold that dumbbell at your chest. You can back rack it. You can hold it down in front of you. I know that can be a little awkward. All right, whatever works for you. But take a nice wide stance. Let those toes point out. Let's get started. Sumo squats. So if you're gonna hold low, remember the goal is not to touch the bell to the floor. That would make it a deadlift, okay? It's a squat, so I want your shoulders to stay stacked over the hips at all times. Come a little bit more of an angle so you can see. I'm gonna go back to a front rack because it's just a little more comfortable for me. Good, and rest. All right, our last exercise, but one more on each side. So we're gonna do just a simple single leg deadlift. Since we're going with heavier weight, if we are, all right, I suggest you stagger instead of balance. So keep those feet about hip width, slide it back, and you'll hinge. Let's begin. Hold that weight in the opposite side, okay? So if you have 2 dumbbells, that's fine, 1 on each. But for those of you using a single, okay, keep it on the opposite side. It's going to help you keep your spine long and flat and your core flush with the ground. Again, this is the working side, not that back leg. Back leg is simply there for balance. So we'll stay on this side. We'll switch at the next rest break. And rest. All right, so all over again, but on this side. All right, so again, maintain some width. You don't want to be one right in front of the other. Maintain that width. Get on the balls of the feet. And remember, that's just for balance, okay? You can lift your leg, but that kind of takes the strength focus out of it. Let's begin, especially the heavier the dumbbell you get, or the heavier the weight you use. So just allows you to focus on hitting a full depth without wavering. Full extension of those hips. Really squeeze the glute when you stand. And rest. All right, one of the benefits of working out outside, just drop my weights on the ground. Only 20 seconds, we're going right back to the top again. So we're back to those good mornings. If you try the back rack and it wasn't your friend, maybe try the front rack. You really have to draw that belly in to maintain integrity through the spine. Round number 2, let's begin. "40 seconds, kind of a long time, right? But when we're taking slow controlled reps, it's really not. So we don't want to rush the reps, but we want to make the most use out of our time. Good, and rest. All right. Next move, stepping back, reverse to curtsy and stand. Oh, my ground is so lumpy. So again, one side move. The stationary leg is the power leg, right? That's going to be the leg that's really doing the strength work. Let's begin. Pick a side and get started. Tap with the reverse, tap to the curtsy and stand. That curtsy is going to target the outer hip a little bit more, which, yes, I know is very aesthetically appealing for many ladies, but as far as functionality-wise, that is what keeps your hips strong and sturdy and supports the knees. So I've had a knee injury in the past, had to focus on my external rotators and my hips because those were weak. This is a good exercise for that. And rest. So we can work aesthetics and function at the same time. All right, so next one is going to be that opposite side. We'll just jump right into it. You know the drill, you guys. Again, super simple but super effective. All glutes. Glutes and hammies. That should be really not isolated, but let's begin. Very, very challenging to strictly isolate anything, but that's our target. Make sure, again, you push your heel into the floor as you stand. That's what's really going to help you build that mind-muscle link to the glute. And rest. All right, next, you guys, we're back to those sumo squats. So again, front rack, you could back rack. You can pull down low. I'm not a huge fan of the holding low. I feel like it tends to draw my posture down. So I'm gonna go back to my handy dandy front rack. Let's begin. Wide stance, toes out. Get as low in that squat as you can. Drive your knees apart, even though we're in a wide stance. Press them outward. Ten seconds. Feel my breathing picked up a little bit. And rest. All right, final move. Right side single leg deadlift, then left side, or whatever one you want to start with. All right. But again, hip width, maybe a little more. Shuffle back about a foot. Go for your hinge from there. Let's begin. So, shoulders back, chest proud, strong spine here. Again, that back leg is just to stand for balance. Really not doing the work. You got this. And rest. Whew, that bell's getting heavy. It's 35 pounds, but it's catching up with me. All right, we're gonna do the other side, and then we're halfway. We got 2 more rounds to go. It moves quick, right? It's nice to switch. I feel like you're doing something different each time. But again, it's only 4 exercises. All right, right to work. Let's get it. So again, stagger that stance. Hinge down. Squeeze your glute as you stand. Push through the heel. That mosquito's biting me. Try not to look directly up at the very bottom, right? Because now you're breaking that straight line in your spine. And rest. So when we deadlift, when we hinge, you want to keep it stiff still. So it's one long straight line, even though it's moving. We don't want to do this. All right, kind of sacrifice the strength and the functional aspect of the move. All right, back to the top, you guys. Good morning. Let's go. Might be a good evening for you, whatever time of the day. Now I'm probably throwing you guys off. I normally face this way. Focus here on really shifting your hips back as you get low, rather than just bending at the knees, right? Shift those hips back, 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 back. Allow the knees to soften and rest. Let the hips lead and the knees follow with that. All right, next we have our curtsy, or I'm sorry, our reverse to curtsy. So, oops. All right, so if you can't do that curtsy, for whatever reason, just give me an extra pulse at the bottom of the reverse. Let's do it, one side. Reverse, curtsy, and stand. You always want to dig into those heels. Whew. 3 seconds, give me one more and rest. Oh my goodness. I told you it catches up by the 4th round. It's only 4 moves, but it'll catch you. All right, other side, get ready to rock and roll. It doesn't have to be a large crossover for that curtsy, just enough to activate that outer hip. Let's begin. So other side, boom. 10 seconds. Couple more reps. I know that booty's burning. And rest. Right, so your glutes, again, not just for aesthetics, those are your power muscles. So all those like cleans, snatches, lunges, squats, of course, it's gonna be a base for all of your athletic power. So it goes beyond just the aesthetic goals you have. All right, sumo squats. Right away. Again, shoulders stay stacked directly over the hips. Drive the knees outward through the move. Ten seconds. Get as low as you can in that squat. And rest. All right, you guys. Last but not least, single leg deadlifts. One on the right, one on the left. And then we're going right into our final round. Then you're done. So get ready, rock and roll. Let's go. Stagger your stance and begin. And rest. Okay. Last time on the other side, or I should say last interval of the third round with this other side, and then we're moving on. Fourth and final round, the last round, best round, you always know it. Get ready, starting in 3, 2, 1, other leg, single leg deadlifts. Woo! It's getting shaky. And rest. Okay, you guys, final round. Quick drink of water if you need it. Starting back at the top with our good mornings. So again, you can front rack or back rack. If you're back racking, rest it on your traps, not on your neck. All right? Keep it safe. Okay? In 3, 2, 1, let's begin. So again, hips lead. Allow the knees to soften. My ground is so uneven here. Hips lead, squeeze glutes, and then stand. And rest. Whew. All right. Next, going back to that reverse to curtsy. One side, then reverse to curtsy on the other. So get ready. Get ready to rock and roll. All right, in 3, 2, 1, let's begin. And again, really dig in through your heel of that stationary leg as you stand up tall. Woo. My legs are ready to call it. 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and rest. All right, other side. And then we're halfway through this round, right? Sorry if you can hear the plane in the video here. The benefits of working outside. All right, let's begin. Reverse, curtsy, and stand. I just figure take advantage, right, of the weather. Have a pretty background, sorta, my fence. I gotta get to like the Bahamas or something. Give you guys a real pretty background. And rest. All right, my booty's about to quit. We got sumo squats. All right, again, you can hang low, front rack or back rack. I also like the front rack. It keeps me honest in my spine. Okay, especially during a sumo. So grab your bell, 5 seconds. Begin. Right, because if you lean forward, you're gonna drop that weight. So helps you keep your shoulders stacked over the hips. Make sure we're activating, right, those external rotators. So those tiny little glute muscles on the outside. For 3, 2, 1, and rest. Okay, final exercise, single leg deadlift. Last round, best round of these. Let's begin. Again, stagger your stance, hinge through those hips. Allowing the hips to lead and the knee to soften and follow. Again, that back foot, just there for balance. So I like to really go on my tippy toe. That way it reminds me I don't want to bear too much weight, if any, on it. And rest. All right, last interval of the day, you guys. Last 40 seconds of work. That's going to be the other side, single leg deadlift. Make it hurt, make it count, right? You know how it goes. In 3, 2, 1, let's begin. Again, push that heel into the ground as you extend, right? I think you're pushing the floor away with your heel. 2, 1, that is it. Let's cool down, shake it out. Let's just do a few walking butt kicks. Woo, very nice work. I don't know about you, but I am sweating, right? Super simple, super basic strength workout, but very effective. Targets, right? All those surrounding glute muscles without having to sacrifice your form, right? Because of fatigue, and we don't need a million different exercises to do it. Plus those hamstrings, right? We're like a secondary mover, so got a lot of pulling action in. I'm just gonna open up my hips just a little bit, because even though they weren't really doing any flexing against weights, they were still participating. All right, you guys, that is it. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you next time. Give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed this workout, all right? Please subscribe, that way you get notified every time I post a new workout. We can struggle and stay fit together. Otherwise, stay strong, stay tough.